getting pretty rough. Boss had to call in some friends. Now, you know me well enough that by about the third video, I start to ratchet up the complexity. And well, it's the third video, so let's do that. But we're not going to do too much. We're going to learn two new things, and they're actually both kind of the same category. They're both what are called logical operators. Now, when I use the word operator so far, we've been talking about mostly symbols. But these are actual words. We're going to be learning and or, which allow us to create more complex conditions to drive our if statements. All right, so the snake has 101 HP. There are two things we're asking for, the name and type of the sidekick, and then we're going to send those to Ulysses' secret super attack to see how much the attack is worth, and hopefully it's enough to finally defeat the snakes. Now here are the rules. The rules are this. If any capybara shows up, the power of the attack is 50. If a specific capybara named Captain shows up, then the attack is 1,000. If a rat shows up or someone named Claude, who's Ulysses' Yeti friend, the attack is about like a 1, because like they're not really good in these situations. In any other case, the attack is a 0. So Ulysses needs a friend to do in the snakes for good. So we're going to find out what that looks like. To the code. For Ulysses' secret super attack, we have two parameters. We have a partner type called partner and a name called name. Now remember, the most specific case that we want to look at is whether Captain Capybara shows up. Now, when we're doing multiple conditions where we have ands and ors, we want to do the most specific one first, and the most specific one is if it is in fact a partner capybara and name Captain. So we could put that in our if statement by saying if partner double equals, again, we're doing the comparison of the strings. These are both strings. If the partner is a capybara and the name is Captain, then we want to return 1,000. That's definitely way stronger than the snake. But if the partner is a rat, or the name of the partner is, well, Claude. And don't forget, I got to get my double equals in there because single is an assignment and I want to do a comparison. I'm just going to say he's a Yeti because Claude's a Yeti. Looks fierce, but isn't really that fierce. Return 1. Else if partner double equals capybara, because for some strange reason, Ulysses has a lot of capybara friends, I guess. Return 50. Else in any other case, it's a weak attack. So let's find out what happens when some folks show up. So the first attack, we are going to have Claude show up. So Claude's going to hang out and say, well, you know, I'm Claude. And we're just not going to put in a sidekick type because we'll just leave it blank. We have default arguments. We can handle that. We notice that the snake's HP decreases by 1. So that's consistent with what we know about what happens when Claude shows up. It should decrease by 1. Let's try another case. So the name's not clear, but it's just a capybara. So we should think that 101 minus 50, we should have roughly about 51. So yeah, it looks like that happened. All right. So let's say, oh, Scoop shows up. And Scoop's a cat. Well, that's a 0. So that has the 101. Nothing happened. Again, we're just going down the tree here. So far, we've looked at if the partner is Claude, if the partner's capybara, if the partner's neither of those things or none of the things that we've handled. Let's look and see what happens if the partner's a rat. So no name. We're just going to say they're a rat. Okay, true. It takes away the 1. But in the distance, we see our hero's best companion friend coming up. It's Captain Capybara. And when Captain Capybara shows up, we have Captain the Capybara. Let's find out if they do the snake in. Oh my gosh, it's negative 899. That's the most powerful possible attack there is. But notice what it took to get us there. It took us getting both of these things true because that's what the AND does. It's what's called the exclusive AND. Unless you have both of these things, it's not going to pop out. You're not going to get what actually happens when that condition is true. We had that or where we put in the rat, or we put in Claude, and we got the 1. We had the last one where the name was just nothing, and the type was a capybara, and we got a 50. We had the other where we put in any other value, and we were able to find out that the return 0 happened. So we're able to see how we can couple together things. So in the case that, again, the capybara and the name was Captain, we got the most powerful attack, and we were able to finally subdue the snakes. And that was a short video covering the logical operators. So and is that one where both things need to be true. We noticed that the animal had to be both a capybara and named Captain in order to have that really super mega ultra awesome attack that finally did the snakes in. The other one we saw was this or, where you could either be one or the other, and we saw that attack wasn't that powerful, but we were able to see sort of how that if statement can change based on whether one or the other is true. So and both have to be true, or one or the other has to be true. We practiced elif again to see what would happen if a capybara friend showed up when nothing was really true, the and or the or. We also looked at that backstop case, the else. Now, this is a very simple example, and we will see some more complex ones when we're asked to problem solve on our own. But keep in mind that we can chain these together to make complex expressions that aren't all that complicated if you break it down operator by operator to look and see what exactly is being said. So especially in the case of these kinds of conditions, just like we did the variable gets a value, we might say out loud what these conditions are in order to understand them. So we'll be working more on paper still. So I look forward to getting into more complex conditions with you, but for now that suffices just for and or. Or and or. Shoot, that was a Star Wars joke. Hopeless.